with Aggie Call. Your chance to talk about today's game. Sponsored by Alpine Home Medical, Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, Les Olson Company, Jarek's Fine Jewelry, My Mattress, Elements Restaurant, Cache Valley Bank, Castelite, Daryl's Appliance, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Cache Valley Ear, Nose and Throat, White Pine Funeral Home, S.E. Needham Jewelers, and LSS Insurance. KVNU Game Day with Al Lewis and John Russell.
We unfortunately have seen it before. Utah State has the lead most of this game at home. It was never more than the 10 they had in the first half, though, and then the Aggies could not put Boise State away. They led 30-24 at the half. They start the second half. Boise comes right back and makes it a tie, actually took the lead. Eventually, there are 11 lead changes, and it's tied 7 times in the game. And the only shot that Marcus Shaver makes in the game is with 1.7 seconds to go, a 3-point shot as they ran it down. And this guy has been their big shot guy this year, and he was horrible tonight in the game, but he made his only shot of the night. They made 2 big 3-pointers in the last 51 seconds of the game, and they beat the Aggies 62-59. John, we've seen it before, and I guess we're going to see it again.
Yeah, unfortunately, heartbreaking. And yeah, the guy that's 0 for 10, isn't that the one you want with the ball in his hands?
Absolutely, you'd say that.
And the defense wasn't bad. He just, he hit a big money shot, and boy, just this is tough. This is a rough break for the Aggies. A game that I think most of us felt they were going to come away with and get a victory. But,
well, the way they were playing and they kind of regrouped a little bit there in the second half. And I'll tell you, R.J. Idlerock looked like he got his back jumped on the last play of the game. And again, this is what the officials should have done against St. Mary's. They should. You really don't call anything when the ball's up for grabs like that. And again, in our St. Mary's game, they call a rebound foul when the guy really didn't secure it very well, and everybody kind of runs together, and they give them the free throws at the other end. Yeah. It was poorly officiated. There was 3 stretches in a row where there was an offensive foul, a walk, and they didn't even call on Boise State to help them get back into this one. But leave that aside. Again, Utah State, just did things tonight better, but again, can't quite. Bean has a 15-foot shot or 12-foot shot there at the end of the game and doesn't go in.
Well, you talk about the Aggies did things better. Still some things they need to work on. They have moments where they just fall in love with the 3-pointer. It's not, it's not there. They shot better tonight than they have in the past, so give them credit for that. But not a whole lot better, but
it was better. It
was a little better. Hit their free throws. I think that was huge. They did a good job there, but nonetheless, it's frustrating to see them have such success with things, and then they seem to fall away from it. We saw that again tonight. Good success in the middle. Loved the way Idlerock played. Very aggressive to the basket. Made his free throws. But it seems like we're our own worst enemies.
And Mladen Armouche beat us tonight for Boise State. He was a man among boys the way he played inside. And fortunately, went 2 for 10 at the foul line, or Boise wins the game easier.
Yeah, we don't even have a chance otherwise if he makes his free throws. Yeah, the team, Boise as a whole, was 5 for 15. He was only 2 for 10. So, 3 for 5 without him. But, they did things that they needed to. They got a lot of offensive rebounds. They out-rebounded the Aggies. Didn't turn over the ball. That both teams did that. But it seemed like, once again, when the Aggies had an opportunity to extend the lead, to get a little breathing room, they're not able to do it, and that's what you got to do to win.
Boise State led the game for 9 minutes and 27 seconds. The Aggies led the game for 27 and a half minutes. And again, like we said, there was they had 16 offensive rebounds. So again, going back to my stat sheet here, they had 23 second chance points of their 62 points in this game. And again, the Aggies still have not won a game not scoring 70 points. Yeah. They lose if they don't score 70. Boise's only let, 2 teams score more than 70 on them this year, and it's 62-59 the final.
Yeah, I thought they were going to pull it off tonight. I thought they were going to win the game the way, the Aggies, I almost felt like, we could have replayed the game from the other night. Aggies get up to a nice first first half lead, come out in the second half, they're a little flat, well, a lot flat. Let the other team back into it. But they seem to stop the bleeding. The Aggies seem to stop the bleeding. Had chances, but again, every time they would get a stop, Boise would get the rebound.
The last time Boise led in the game was at 50-49 at about the 7-minute mark. Amush scored, and then he missed. He scored on a rebound that was. It was a free throw that he rebounded a missed free throw and put it in. They went 50-49. Aggies took the lead there, and then Boise was chasing. Finally, they tied it with Acot's shot with 51 seconds to go. So it was 59 all. The Aggies held the lead, but never more than 3 in there. And then Boise takes a 3-point lead at the end with the Shaver shot with 1.7 to go. The Aggies get a pass towards half court. They try to get Idle Rock at the half court line. He and I think it's Acot, might have been Kejab, one of the two. They were up his back, and they were settling, trying to fight for the ball and loose ball. Official said the game's over, ran off the floor. Coach Odom wanted him to come over and talk to him, you could see, and he wasn't going to get that to happen. And so Utah State, again, one of those last-second opportunities where the other team makes the last play, and we get it. And remember, even against New Mexico, we make the shot from Ashworth, and it doesn't count. So then we get the pass to Bean, and Bean shoots and doesn't make it. Every last-second shot that we get, we don't seem to get. And the opponents, New Mexico made a three-pointer right there before we almost made the game winner with Ashworth. And then Colorado State made plays at the end. Fresno State makes plays at the end. We don't make plays at the end.
And that's the difference right there. And the Aggies. But, Al, the thing is they can't be putting themselves in that position because you can go earlier in the game, and there were, like I said, opportunities to put a little distance between the Aggies and their opponents. They're not doing that. They're getting to that point, and the opponents are making big-time shots. I'll tell you the big thing, though, I don't want to see any good big men coming in against the Aggies. Well, they are struggling
against Air Force. I think he had 8 points and 6 rebounds. Yeah. He's had double-doubles in, points and rebounds this season. He's had 1, 2. He's had 2 games of double-double. And he gets a career-high 22 points, a career-high 19 rebounds tonight to lead the way. And then Shaver, who hasn't made a shot the whole night, makes the 3 with 1.7. Okay, we want to hear from you with calls or texts. Our phone number is 753-5868. The text line is 435-339-0321 is the text line number. And we, of course, will also hopefully hear from coach and players up at the Spectrum. It's going to be tough again. Boy, I'll tell you, the Aggies have never started, since we joined the PCA, modern conference, maybe back in the Skyline days or whatever, we have never been 1-5 in conference play in basketball since we joined the PCAA in 1979 or 78. This is Game Day on KBNU, and we will be right back. Aggies lose 62-59.
This is Dave Simmons for Les Olson Company. Your team's in the locker room ready to get out there and play to win, but you see a player you don't recognize. They're wearing your jersey and even know your coach's name. But who are they? Would you let this stranger look at your team's playbook? That's exactly how phishing attacks work. In 2020, the number of phishing attacks against businesses doubled compared to the previous year. Don't take risks. Take action with the Les Olson Security Suite. Get your free network assessment at lesolson.com.
What's more important than sleep? Granted, some things are, but not many. This is Ryan at My Mattress, and here we offer the best solution to better sleep, a better mattress. IntelliBed, the gel mattress, cradles your hips and shoulders while providing the best back support possible. Or come in and choose a Tempur-Pedic that boasts 93% of their owners love their bed. My Mattress, offering the best sleep possible by the South Walmart.
Ascent Aesthetics is a premier aesthetic practice. Doctors Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette of Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat are proud to offer you a professional aesthetics team. The Ascent team is passionate about education, best techniques, products, procedures, and services. If you're looking for help with Botox, fillers, microneedling, laser hair removal, medical-grade facials, or skincare, Ascent will help you feel confident, beautiful, and refreshed. See which Ascent service is right for you and learn more at AscentAesthetics.com. That's AscentAesthetics.com.
It's the perfect time to get rid of that old wood stove or put an insert in that old fireplace, because the state of Utah's wood stove and fireplace changeout program is back. Advanced Fireplace and Stove says let the government foot the bill up to $3,800 towards your new Heat and Glow gas insert or fireplace or Vermont casting stove. Do you live in Idaho? No worries. Idaho's changeout program is in full swing. They can assist in the Idaho wood changeout too. Advanced Fireplace and Stove, 435-753-3734 or at advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
Talking about the Aggies. It's KVNU Game Day. Call 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
Another rugged game in the Spectrum. You knew it was going to be physical. Boise State. Coach Odom, I could play you, John. 62-59 the final. Shaver made the shot with 1.7 to go, a three-pointer. They made 2 threes in the last 51 seconds to beat the Aggies. The Aggies had one shot from Justin Bean. They worked it. Bairstow went in deep. Looked like he might have a layup, and then he turned around and went back to Bean. Bean shot it from about 12, 13, 14 feet. Aggies seemed to want to call a foul on that play, and maybe that kind of thing. I watched the play, and then they were running to the other end after the rebound, so I didn't really pay that close of attention to it. He might have got fouled. But in the end, though, again, another shot for Bean that we'd love to have that's not happening. And Justin has another 6 for 16. Teams are really going after him. His field goal percentage has gone way down the last couple of games. I think he's trying to force a little bit of offense out of himself some. And he played terrific tonight with 14 points, 14 rebounds. But we're used to when he gets 12 rebounds to get 20 points with it. You get that, the Aggies win the game. Whose pluses tonight? R.J. Idlerock definitely gets one for the Utah State team. And I thought even at times, even though Armouche did what he did, Trevin Dorius at times, again, was a guy who did do some things, blocked a shot or two of his, got up there battling for boards. Again, you give him a little bit of a plus on the game, too.
Yeah, certainly. And again, would love to hear from you. Text line is 435-339-0321. And one of the first texts we get from 2070, something he seems to say after every show, Horvath is a 4, not a 5. We have 2 7-footers, and we don't use them. And, yeah, I agree with you. I think that Dorius...
Shulga would not have been an answer, I don't think, in the game tonight.
Zapala.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean Shimon Zapala, yeah. But Dorius, I think, was at times, but, again, not quite enough. He's just... Armouche is so smart.
Yeah.
He's Arvydas Sabonis.
Yeah. Yeah, you were mentioning that earlier. That's a great comparison. No, Dorius, I mean, he played well
tonight. Or Vlade Divac or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Those kind of guys.
Smart
it's exactly
player,
what, yeah.
And he does what
handles
he
the
needs
ball, footwork, and gets everything he's attached to. You know.
But when Dorius, 12 minutes, that's what you're going to get out of him. 12, maybe 15 if he plays well. Again, he played well tonight, 1 for 3 from the field, but he has 4 boards, 2 blocks. That's what you want from him. And he put a little bit of heavy body on him. But like you said, this Armas guy just came out and did really whatever he wanted to. The only thing is, as you mentioned, the free throws were poor. But, the killer are the offensive rebounds. And he grabbed a slew of them.
In the last 10 minutes of the game, Horvath made a floating one-hander and then made that one rebound from the free throw line and went in and made a layup out of it. So he did some things, but he got 4 rebounds, 4 out of 7, 9 points in the game. Bairstow, 8 points, 2 for 8 shooting the ball, 0 for 3 from 3. I think in conference play from the 3, he's like 2 for 28 now or something like that. And, Jalen and I were talking about before the game. He's averaging 15 points a game. But the coach seems to think, you could tell he really wishes he had Miller right now to have some threes. Brock's battling that bad back, and he's out. Rylan Jones with the concussion protocol after he took that shot in the nose. He was put into that after when they checked him out after the game, even though, remember, he came back in and played the other night. But the return of R.J. Idlerock, or else the Aggies would have really been in trouble tonight in this game.
R.J. played well, and I have to wonder whether having that little break, he was definitely winded in his first run there. He had to come out. But he played well, and I think what we saw at him tonight is the aggressiveness that we expected.
Yeah, we wanted him to take it powerfully to the basket and do that, and if not score, get fouled, and he goes to the foul line, makes 8
times. I mean, boy, you can't beat that. But he did that. I think Bairstow's just trying to feel himself out, figure out who exactly is, because he had several plays where he beat people, but then he'd get into the paint and there, had big guys
or
around
he'd lose
him.
control of the ball or hesitate just for a second, and then all of a sudden you're thinking he could make a quick play and make it happen. And that on the other side, Kijab, Akot, those are both really good players. Mm-hmm. But again, it was Armush tonight, who has not, a lot of the attention has been Shaver, Akot, Kijab for them. And then lately, Degenhart, their freshman, who he muscles it around and mixes it up. He had 4 fouls playing Justin Bean. He did get 6 points on the night. He was the big scorer the other night against Air Force. But they played a little bit more than they normally play. They did show Pryor and Milner just a little bit in the game, but again, here's Smith made that one rebound basket, and then he missed the free throw, and then they followed it back up in with a basket after that. And then, then you've got Max Rice doing what he did out there with the 4 rebounds and made his one shot from the field. He missed a 3. They shoot 5 for 20 from 3. Aggies, though, 4 for 18. We thought, let me check Jalen's keys to the game. Jalen, where did I put the page for Jalen's keys to the game? It's somewhere in my stack of stuff here now.
I don't know
here it
how
is right
you
here.
find things.
Got to shoot better from 3. He thought at least 28 to 30%. We shoot 22%. Have to have double-digit assists in the game. We did get 10, just barely. That means the offense is working. 2 halves together. They played better in the first half than the second half.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit better. And shot better in the first half than the second half. Did some things better. Rebounded even with them, I think, at about the half. Ended up getting out-rebounded. And then, of course, the coach said we got to control the boards, and those offensive rebounds really killed them. Guard the paint. Boise got 40 points in the paint. We had 20.
Yeah, big difference.
So coach was really right on with his keys.
He was. Going back, though, to what Jalen said, you talk about shooting the 3. First half, the Aggies are 3 for 9, 33%.
We started
right
3 for 5.
Yeah, we did. Well, I didn't want to bring that.
So
you're right.
The rest
but
of the game,
second half,
we're
1
for 13 when the game's on the line.
Yeah. And again, that's how you end up losing games. And you watch the game, and it was tough because, again, there were stretches where they take it inside, they take advantage of the quickness over the bigger guys. And then the Armas guy, as big as he was, we were quicker than he was. And you'd find success, and then all of a sudden you would almost see it in their eyes, like, ooh, look, it's wide open or at the 3-point. Let's jump back there. And again, like after going 3 for 5, they end up going 1 for 13. There's your game again. And
Boise, up until those last 2 shots, is 3 for 18.
Yeah.
And then Akot makes 1 and Shaver makes 1.
Just a rough one. But, the thing is hopefully now we're in a spot. The Aggies won't play again for a week. So they get a chance to rest up. They get to start working on some things. But this is going to start getting in their head. I mean, let's face it.
Well, I know. I think it already is, and already maybe was a little bit when they have a lead in the first half and the second half gets a little closer. Some of those plays start to not happen.
I hate to go back to football. It took a stretch where the football team. They would be up in the fourth quarter, and you'd look at whoever went to the game with you, and you go, well, how are they going to lose it this week? And I have a feeling
that used to be Utah State football stuff, and now this year the football team just settled it the first game of the year, and they never had to worry about it again.
They created an environment where they knew they could come back, and I think that's where the basketball team is now. How are we going to lose this one?
And again, with the mixture and in and outs of players and things like that, I think that's bothered them. Okay, Jarek's Fine Jewelry brings you our post game. Make it special, make it Jarek's always. And we got James to join with us as our first caller on Aggie Call post game. Our number is 753 KVNU and the text line 3390321. James, go ahead. You're on.
Hi, guys. Tough loss tonight. They were a very physical team. I missed your stat that I wanted you to repeat for me. We've lost some really close games there right at the end, the last minute. And I thought, Al, you said something on that. The last few games, what was that again? Because we're just not finishing there at the end.
Well, the point is, again, even go back. Air Force, again, as I remember at the end of the game, we were going to try to run a play, and they took the ball away from us. Yeah. Remember? We had the ball with a chance to maybe tie that. New Mexico, we let them score that 3 in the corner to tie it when it looked like we might win it in regulation, or maybe we should foul instead of letting them shoot a 3. Then we inbound the ball to Ashworth. He makes it from half court, but they called timeout. Then we did get the pass to Bean, and they gave us the inbounds there where maybe Bean walked out of bounds. So then we get Bean with the last shot missed. missed. Then you go to the Colorado State game, and down the stretch, we missed. Colorado State made plays and then finally made some free throws at the end. And we saw what happened at Fresno. We saw the Wyoming game at the end. EK takes it from the top of the key, drives down, and banks it in.
Yeah.
We haven't made any big plays except you go back to Brock Miller making shots against Oklahoma. We go back to some other things in the preseason, but after November, we haven't made any big plays at the end of the game.
Yeah, and I think that's we got to finish. Like you said, we need to finish those tight games. Like you say, the difference between winning and losing in those close games, and we got to finish those. The other stat, I don't know if you said it yet, Al, was what was the offensive board? For Boise, they were getting a
16?
lot of offensive boards.
I think it was 16 for Boise. I think offensive rebounds.
16.
I think let me get here. I can get it to you right here. Boise had 16. We had 8. They had 27 defensive rebounds. We had 30.
Yeah. That offensive rebounding, I thought that hurt us too tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, that big guy Armouche is really something rebounding the basketball. He was really good tonight.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Appreciate it, James. Thanks for calling in. Anything else on the text line?
Yeah, and this is unfortunately what I think we're going to start seeing. Keep finding new ways to lose. This is from 8387. At some point, coach has to bench Shulga for good, but he doesn't manage games well, so don't expect it to happen.
Shulga was he had a little more of an impact than the Fresno game the other night. He started tonight, his second start, and it was not much of an impact at all.
This comes from 5879. Talks about how long until they sack the coach. Don't you think Smith left the shelves bare when he left? Maybe. And that's the problem is that, people are going to get frustrated and they're going to start looking for Odom to be
I've said
go.
Okay.
And
I've told people, I'll say it. Coach Smith, I think, was a great game coach, a great practice coach from what I saw, but maybe even stuff that's starting to happen down at Utah. Other than Neemias Queta, I don't know if he had a Wooster. Maybe he's playing in the Pac-12, so I'll give it to him. And they did get Marco Anthony out of the transfer portal, but I don't know if we really had really great recruits from Coach Smith. Coach Duryea got us Ashworth, got us Bean, got us Dorius. All these guys were here when Coach Duryea was really here to start with.
Yeah. No, he's
on the winning side again over at Boise State.
But one of the things that you talked about in your pregame show, I think it was an interview with Coach, is there's a lot of things going on. Let's not forget Miller is out. I'd love to see Miller with Bairstow and Idle Rock the way he played today. That would open those threes up.
And the guy says get Shulga off the floor. Shulga was not in at the end of the game.
No, he wasn't.
He was not on the floor at the end of the game.
And you're working with what you got. You got to look at the fact that Rylan Jones, how many times has he been hurt this year? I don't think we realize how bad Bean's ankle is. Idle Rock's missing. Bean
hasn't really played the same since the ankle injury.
So,
that's right.
Not necessarily making excuses, but the fact remains you're dealing with things. It's one thing if you lose one guy for 3 or 4 games. The other guys can rally around him. But you're talking, again, Idle Rock's out, Miller's out, Jones out. Bean is not playing at his best. That's 4 key
And then
guys.
Bairstow was gone early when they actually played some of their best basketball.
Yep.
He wasn't a part of things. And then when he came back, you thought, wow, we've got this athletic guy who's really going to add in. And he has, although it wasn't as good a game tonight. That probably his maybe worst game as a starter tonight might have been.
I would say so.
But still, 8 points and 5 rebounds. He did, again, though only shoot 2 for 8.
But I have to agree with 9310, who said this team is good enough to win the tournament. We just need one special practice. We need one breakout performance, and we can win the tournament. I think this is a team that can put things together, and I agree with him, if we can get healthy. And I don't know what's happened to Brock. You're a little more in the loop.
Well,
does he come back?
He's going to have to get through this back, and he wants to. Last year he played with it hurt, and then he couldn't play at the end of the year very well. He's trying to let it heal as much as possible to have the stretch run in him so he can play at the end of this. I mean, technically on this team, I think almost every single guy other than maybe Horvath can come back next year. The way the COVID went, we could even have Bean another year and Miller if they. But I don't know with Brock's health, this will probably be it. But so that's going to here. I'm going to say I think the only chance we have maybe to be able to defend the inside, because Robinson's beaten us, Roddy's beaten us, EK beat us, the guy tonight, Armosh, beat us, inside's beaten us. We're going to have to, Dorius is going to have to be the guy because he's more physical and can stand in there and make it tougher to score on inside.
And play more than 12 minutes.
So maybe we play Dorius, Horvath, Bean, Idle Rock, Jones when everybody's healthy, and then we go and mix and max with the other guys to come in and help.
Yeah. The one thing I do want to see, and we've had several people mention it, really want to see Ashworth come off the bench. He's performed much better in that role. He's more of a spark plug.
9, 5, and 4 tonight's better than what he did the other night against Fresno as a starter.
But we still need more. But the thing is if we can get people back, if we can get people healthy, then you can go back to the lineup, maybe play more of Dorius, but all of a sudden you can have Bairstow coming off the bench. You can have Ashworth coming off the bench, and now different things can happen.
And then the other thing we have to remember too is that these games are close without some of these elements, which proves that we can play with some of these teams. If you get it all figured out at the right time, you can be a little bit of a factor. Hey, so 1-5 is our conference record.
Not a good start. 62-11. We've talked about this. Where was Rylan Jones tonight?
Again, he has concussion protocol. He's put in the concussion protocol. Took that shot in the nose on about the very first play of the game, of course, the other night against Fresno State. Then eventually, after the blood stopped, he did come back and play. But again, at this point, he cannot play because of the COVID protocol, the concussion protocol. Yeah. We'll come back, and we've got players. We've got to get the coach. We'd love to have you text us at 339-0321 or the phone number 753-5868. Aggies lose 62-59 to Boise State on game day. KVNU brought to you by ChemDry of Northern Utah. Again, cleaning carpets, cleaning upholstery, cleaning, again, leather cleaning, granite countertops, and all. They do it all. It is ChemDry of Northern Utah, 752-6100, the phone number.
It's that first kiss, that moment in time.
It's that look in her eye when you get the first sign.
We make it personal, when it's real.
Something for everyone. Know how you feel. Jarrett's fine jewelry. Make it special. Make it Jarrett's.
West Point Dairy Products at Hiram is hiring. West Point Dairy Products has been manufacturing high-quality butter for over 25 years in Cache Valley. They're currently expanding and want you on their growing team. West Point Dairy Products offers competitive wages for entry-level positions starting at $18 per hour, full benefit packages, double time on Sundays, a $2,000 sign-on bonus, and tremendous opportunities for growth. For immediate consideration, call Express Employment Professionals at 435-213-9595.
The new year isn't the only thing we're celebrating here at Alpine Home Medical. This year marks our 25th anniversary, and we couldn't be happier to serve you. Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent. If you haven't shopped with us, we'd love for you to make us your one-stop shop for any of your home medical needs. They're always changing, so please don't hesitate to stop by any of our 10 locations throughout Utah and southern Idaho.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Or online at alpinehomemedical.com.
Advanced Heating and AC, the gold medal winner in the Best of Northern Utah, is teaming up with Carrier Heating and Cooling. Carrier provides you with the best furnace units available. And now is the best time to buy a new unit before the weather turns Cache Valley cold. Financing options are available. Turn to the experts at Advanced Heating and AC and Carrier. Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning at 752-7272. Stop by at their showroom west of DI. Online, advancedheating-ac.com. Aggies led 30-24 at the half to the team at the top of the Mountain West Conference so far, but Boise State outscores them then in the second half by a score of 38-29 to win the basketball game 62-59. Boise still, again, has only allowed one team over 70 this year, and the Aggies haven't won a game if they don't score 70 points. And the Aggies drop overall now to 10-9. 4-4 at home is the Aggies' home record. With a fantastic spectrum tonight, it sounded like it was very loud. And
once
the
again,
students are really good.
Students really did a good job. The crowd filtered in a little late. It was that's when the snow started, so got a little messy out there. But they showed up, and there were a few times. I love the fact that the players on several occasions called the fans out, specifically the student section, kind of trying to get them loud, and they did. They really did. But
they'll be at home the next time Wednesday night. They moved that to now 8:30 rather than 9 o'clock next Wednesday night for San Diego State. We'll be here.
Maybe they'll move it a little earlier for us.
But it's 8:30. So here is Stephen Ashworth after the game. We'll go to the Spectrum. We got Jake Ellis, who has recorded Stephen Ashworth's comments to the media. From runny nose to itchy eyes of seasonal allergies, time to take control. Always at Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat of those allergy situations. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for more details. And here's the Aggie guard who scored again, like you said, 9 with 5 rebounds and 4 assists, I think it was tonight.
Tough. That's the word to describe tonight. We fought. I think our toughness as a team was much better than what it's been, and that's part of our goal is to continue to be a tough out. And going down the stretch, we knew we had winning plays to make, and we came up short on a few. And credit to them, they made their shots when they needed to, and the ball bounced their way at the end there. And it's kind of how it goes in this conference with the amount of talent that we have from top to bottom this year. You got to be ready every single night for a game like that. And I'm proud to be a part of this team, proud to be an Aggie. And we're going to get back in the lab tomorrow and get ready for our next game.
Questions for Stephen?
Did you think it was good? I mean, Shaver had a horrible night shooting the ball. Did you think he was going to get the last shot?
Yeah, I definitely thought with the assignment that I had the entire game, I knew that, when we missed our opportunity, that he wasn't going to, be looking to pass, and that's what their coaches would want. He's been their leading scorer throughout conference and I think throughout the season, and so I knew that I would have to guard him, and I felt like I did a great job all night on him, but, I even told him after the shot went in that, tough shot. And sometimes it's the way it goes, and I guess I know how the Jazz feel when MJ kind of hit that at the end. Similar feeling, but I guess less of a scale.
Any other questions for Stephen?
Stephen, they were pretty dominant down the pace there, just getting all the offensive rebounds and stuff.
Yeah, coming in, we knew that was going to be a big assignment. He's a big load. He's very physical, very smart with his body. And Brandon and Trevin were battling down there. And I think that a lot of those opportunities don't necessarily fall on their shoulders. I think that as guards, we could have done a little bit better job chasing down a few rebounds. I felt like I recognized that and was able to come up with a few, which was good for us. But definitely recognized that if we control that part of the game, I think the outcome's a little bit different. And that's something that we talked about there after the game. And we know that we can go back and do that better collectively, because no matter what, defensive rebounding is absolutely a team thing. So I think that our team knows that, and we'll definitely prepare for that going forward.
Anything else?
It just has to be I don't even know how to describe it. You said tough, but just time after time you guys are right there with these teams, and a play here or there. How do you guys, I guess you just go back to practice, what else can you do?
Yeah, I think that we recognize that we're right in the thick of it. Coach Odom and his leadership has been profound, and he talked about how we're in a season within the season, and that definitely resonated with me. I know that this isn't the end. I know that there's been a few games go not our way, and that's the joy of it, right? Is that we know as a team that we haven't quite played our best game yet, and we have things to improve, and it's something that I think as a team, despite all of the defeat and all of the heartache that this brings, it's also very motivating the fact that we can be that type of a team. We can be, at the top of the Mountain West. We still have a chance to win the Mountain West championships and go to the tournament, and that's part of our goals. But the biggest thing is that just getting back in the lab tomorrow and, going back to it.
They do have this weekend off. They've had a real stretch here where they've played and then had to travel and then come back home and really didn't really practice much yesterday. So looked mostly at film to talk about it because they had to physically. Yeah. I think they got back to Logan about 5 o'clock after the Fresno game. They tried to get back as fast as they could, and that was as early as they could make it. So here's Stephen Ashworth. It covered a guy. He's 0 for 10 the whole night long. He's doing his job. He was with him there. That shot was contested. It wasn't it wasn't like he's wide open three. He had a guy on him to shoot the shot to win the game. And it's deep, too. It had space, I would say a good 3-4 feet behind the arc, I think.
Well, like they say, shooter's going to shoot. And you knew that, that's the guy Shaver is, he's been a great leader for them scoring-wise. And you could tell he wasn't going to give the ball up when you watched that play.
At first, I thought they'd run something or do something else, maybe get Acott involved or try to get down inside or something.
He was going to take that shot, and as we heard Ashworth say afterwards, tough shot. But the unfortunate thing, you listen to him, and it goes back to what we were talking about before. I think this is getting to these guys a little bit. You could tell that Ashworth, like he'd been socked in the gut before this, and just the wind taken out of him. And the Aggies just need to turn around. They need a good win. They need a good game where they can get that confidence back.
You could tell it was hard to get the shots you wanted. Boy, Boise blocked a lot of shots early in the game that the Aggies tried to. And then the Aggies started blocking their shots too. It's been tough to score. And I'll tell you what, San Diego State. It'll be tough to score against them. Ask Colorado State, who could hardly get a shot against them in the second half of that game down at the last time they played. So I don't know. They're supposed to play this weekend against Boise State. That'll be Saturday night down at San Diego.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Well, San Diego State just absolutely clamped down on Colorado State. You said the Aggies have not won a game this year when they've not scored 70 points, and they're not going to score 70 against San Diego State.
If you're gonna win games in this league, there's gonna be a lot of games you're gonna have to win 55-52 or 57 or 62-59.
And they're gonna have to play the lockdown defense. Now, again, the Aggies, they have 10. They had 5 steals. They had 6 blocks.
The Aggies have led the conference
numbers
in conference games and steals. We've never done that before. Yeah. Tonight they did get that, but Boise State shoots 40%. Mm-hmm. They shoot 25 from 3. They did out-rebound the Aggies, and those second-chance points end up being the difference. How often do you talk about the best guy in the game goes 2 for 10 at the foul line?
Yeah, exactly.
And he's the player of the game.
And you would have thought that would have made a win
unless it was Shaquille O'Neal someday in the NBA or something.
I think the key number here, though, is you just look at the 2 big guys. Armas, 19 boards, but of those 19, 10 are offensive boards. And you look at Justin Bean, had a great game, boards, 12, but not one offensive rebound. And that's a key part to his game.
Yeah, Justin has been good at getting offensive boards, and Armouche is one of the best in the country, if not the best. And we think tonight after watching him, he's the best.
He's the best.
Nobody can be any better than that. All right, more of Game Day. Your comments at 753 KVNU or the text line is 339-0321 as the Aggies lose 62-59. Another heartbreaker.
Winter is upon us, which is the best reason to have a clean and healthy home. This is Darryl with ChemDry of Northern Utah. Let us come and make your carpets, rugs, and upholstery and hardwood as clean as it can be. Platinum certified with the Carpet and Rug Institute and Indoor Air Quality Association. ChemDry's hot carbonation and quick dry times will leave your homes healthy and ready to combat the cold and flu season. We're a company that you can trust. Call ChemDry of Northern Utah.
ChemDry of Northern Utah. ChemDry of Northern Utah. 435-752-6100.
This is Jay with Daryl's Appliance. What happens when an appliance breaks down and the cost of the repair is more than the appliance value? You're stuck with a service call charge at most places, not at Daryl's. With our exclusive Under One Roof loyalty program, we discount the service call diagnostic charge when you decide to buy new from us instead of the repair. That's the Daryl's difference, because service always comes first. Daryl's West on Airport Road, open until 6 p.m. on weekdays, 5 on Saturday.
Stephen, stop dragging your feet. Don't you give me that look. You've had a bad attitude all day. Now, look, I know you'd rather be with your friends right now, but this has to be done, and either you start cooperating or I'm going to start taking things away from you. And I think you know what that means, don't you, Stephen?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Okay.
Watch it.
Bigger isn't always better. At Cast-A-Lite, you'll choose from a huge selection of pavers and receive help from experts. You'll see just how easy it is to do it yourself. For brick, block, rock, paver, and tile, go where the pros go. Online at castalite.com.
S.E. Needham Jewelers is where Utah gets engaged. Couples throughout the state buy their rings from S.C. Needham Jewelers because of our low prices, extensive ring selection, and extraordinary benefits and services with financing available. Go to scneedham.com to learn more. We have many unique and beautiful engagement rings starting at $500. You'll find affordable engagement rings with our integrity price guarantee. This is why we are where Utah gets engaged. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7. S.C. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
It's KVNU Game Day with Aggie Call. Call 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
Again, 62-59, the final for Boise State in the Spectrum. They had lost the last 2 times they'd been there. Remember, the first 18 times the Aggies ever played Boise State in the Spectrum, they beat them. Then Boise won 2 in a row, I think it was, and then the Aggies have come back and win 2. And now tonight, again, actually they came back and won 3 in a row, I think Boise did, and then the Aggies have won the last 2. But Boise wins tonight 62-59. Scoreboard, John, I want to check scores and then the text as well. LSS Insurance brings you our post game. Remember, if you need any information about Medicare, easy to understand videos, testimonials, and instructions are at the LSS Insurance website, lssins.com. If you're turning 65 this year, make sure you get with them for your help on Medicare and any other health and any kind of, not health, but any health or other insurance needs. LSS, your spot, 752-9493. So check other scores, and then let's check a few texts. Just a second. There you go.
Okay, only one other game in the Mountain West tonight, and Air Force beats UNLV, so that you like to see that, 69-62. Down south, the Utah Utes, they're hosting number 9 UCLA, and early in the first half, about 8.5 left. UCLA up is up 18-16. Weber in the Big Sky just absolutely throttled Idaho State. They win 95-63, and BYU beats San Diego 79-71. Going to the text line, just kind of frustrations. And I think more than anything, Aggie's just trying to find a way, hoping to find a way to win. From 1-5-3-4, Aggies were lucky to be in the game. Boise 5 for 15 from the free throw line.
Well, but it's Armush, and he's not good all the year. That's where he is. I mean, his seasonal average as a free throw shooter is he was 21 of 61, 34%. So he's worse tonight, but still that's about on par.
But he makes up for it on the offensive rebounding side.
Yep.
And again, they get 16 offensive boards. Boise does, and we only get 8. This one from 0508. Any reason they can't use some of Stu's sets from 2000 to 2011? I think it's funny because 0508 says seems like too much one-on-one play on offense, and yet prior to this year, I heard people saying I'd like to see a little more
ISO
one and more. Yeah,
they've had to go to that because they're not shooting threes, and that's what's the only way you do it. Look what's happened to us. What did Wyoming do to us? What did Fresno State do to us? And you go one-on-one, and you either kick or you finish,
but
or try to finish.
You talk about what did they do to us? A lot of open shots. I mean, it's not like it was phenomenal defense. You have to respect that inside so much. When coming guys back in, you have to double, and all of a sudden somebody's going to be open. That's the whole point of it. I was going to mention Armas averages 7 points a game and 9 rebounds a game on average. Yeah.
So look what he did tonight.
He blew it up. 5-3-3-8. What's Matt Wickheiser's status this year?
He's just he's got a bad foot.
Yeah.
But he's a walk-on and not really expected to play anyhow.
Yeah. From 2070, this goes back to, he's been making this comment. Horvath is not a 4, but if we use our 2 7-footers, we can pound on number 33, make him shoot free throws. Terrible lack of understanding of matchups. And I guess one way to look at it, you've got 10 fouls there. Mm-hmm. That's
Shimon, I don't know if physically he plays the way enough to go. Dorius maybe had the best chance tonight against that. We got Mark, who's been waiting very patiently. Mark, go ahead. You're on Aggie Call.
Yeah, there's one thing that Boise State had coming into this, and that's Coach Tim Duryea. I think that, that taste of a little bit of revenge in his mouth coming in is pretty strong coming into the Spectrum, where he spent a good portion of his life and good portion of his coaching career. And so just, I'm an Aggie through and through, but congratulations to Coach Tim Duryea for coming back home and pulling out a win. I think that's pretty cool for a homegrown Aggie.
Of course, it took him a while to do that. The first couple of games against the Aggies with him left him with a bad taste, but now he's had a lot more better taste the last little while, winning 3 of the last 4, I think, in the series against the Aggies. So, Mark, good point. And we talked about Tim before the game. Tim's their offensive guy, and, they've basically nowadays college basketball is a lot different even than when Tim coached and when Stu coached. They've gone to this 5-out, and then now you got the big guys. So there's a 4-out game is what they have at Boise. But they've got, lately, they do drive the ball and take it inside like Wyoming more than a lot of teams. So Wyoming and Boise are very similar in how they do offensively, and we saw it tonight because, again, Acott and Kejab can both take it to the basket. Besides, we didn't see Shaver a couple times tried to, but most of the time was shooting on the outside tonight.
Yeah, the game is now a lot of those long, athletic guys that can handle the ball, 6'6", 6'7", 6'8".
Back it in, yeah. Hunter Maldonado's had almost a triple-double the last 2 nights playing for Wyoming. They won last night without Ike. I don't know if he was COVID or sick or hurt or what.
Well, we got to give them a little more credit. They got the win here.
They are 3-0. Boise's 5-0. San Diego State's 2-0. And Boise plays at San Diego State on Saturday night. That'll be interesting. All right, we'll come back with Coach Odom in our last segment of Game Day postgame. As the Aggies lose 62-59, we've got the coach from the Spectrum, and we'll have that next.
Cache Valley Bank's newest branch is now open in Preston. I'm Lance Zollinger, and I'm excited to announce Cache Valley Bank is now open inside Stokes Marketplace. If you're an existing customer, you'll love the convenience. If you're not a customer, we'd love to have you open a new account with us, or even talk with us about a loan for your farm or business. Cache Valley Bank, a community bank where decisions are still made locally, now open in Preston. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
The Riverwoods Conference Center is the center in Cache Valley for business, entertainment, and special events. Whether you're hosting a large or small event, you have the choice of inside with all the new modern interior renovations or outside along the scenic banks of the beautiful Logan River. The Riverwoods is an ideal choice, offering seamless planning, easy catering coordination, and will make your event as professional or as beautiful as desired. To book your next event or for more info, visit theriverwoods.com or call 435-750-5151. We'll see you at the Riverwoods.
This is James Stevens with White Pine Funeral Services. We often hear people say, I wish I could use White Pine, but I've already paid for arrangements elsewhere. Know that if you've already pre-planned with a different funeral home, you can still call White Pine. If you are being told you'll lose up to 25% of your money, White Pine will provide a discount equal to any fee for switching. If you have any questions, please stop by for a visit or give us a call. We would love to meet you and explain in more detail.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
Hi, this is Bob Larson with LSS Insurance. Are you confused by TV commercials telling you all that you're missing from your Medicare coverage? These national ads are offered by people you will never hear from again and are only interested in selling you something. Let us answer your questions and show you in detail your Medicare options. We're your local agent, here to help throughout the year. Please call 752-9493. Why not take advantage of every benefit available? Come see us or call 752-9493.
The Aggies are always number one here. It's KVNU Game Day with Al Lewis and John Russell.
Well, Boise State beats the Aggies. They've now won 4 of the last 5 in this series. Of course, it was 2 last year, and then the one here now makes it, I think, 3 in a row. And so tonight, 62-59, it was Marcus Shaver Jr. making, I would guess to say, 21-footer, 22-foot shot. It looked like way out there to win the game with 1.7, and all the Aggies to do try to throw it to half court. And there was a collision going for the ball up there, and R.J. Adelrock kind of got rolled out of bounds. And we didn't have Randy McCall here to call a foul on the play to get a chance to maybe go to the foul line. Well, he would have only got 2 shots, though. So
that wouldn't
have made a difference with about a second to go. Yeah, he had to make one miss, and then we had to tip in. And would Armush have let us tip it in at that point?
At this point, I don't think it would have worked out. Hey, a couple of more comments here from the text line, and I want to make sure I give 2070 he kind of called me out here. Horvath is definitely not a 5. He is a 4. He needs to be out on the perimeter, and made a good point here. He says, he can't defend inside. and he is one of the few we actually want shooting a
and
three.
he could give the other team fits if he's a stretch four.
Yeah,
for sure.
So without a doubt.
But that's the structure of our team in a lot of ways. I think they feel like to get more out of it. But I think Trevin's coming along, so I would imagine we're going to see more of him.
I like what he's done the last few games. Again, from 2070, he wants to know, do you know if we ever paid Duryea?
Yes. Eventually, it was decided there was the contract, the way it was eventually written out, and everybody assumed it was one way, but I guess it was written out another way. The assumption of everybody involved, eventually they did pay Tim's contract off. At times, they were kind of indicating they were not going to.
Yeah. But
they did.
It was what it was. 5180. It was really something to watch the big guy from Boise score at will for a while. Good news is we hung with Boise the entire game. Just couldn't close the deal by going up by 4 with 2 minutes left to go. And obviously it made a good point. Bean is now going to draw the other team's top defender. And
and he
other
has.
Guys got to step up.
And he has. And again, that's why his shooting percentage has gone down. They've really, really forced him hard to have to do things offensively. And he missed some shots that he's really made. Jumpers from the corner of the key. He missed 2 or 3 of those. He missed one there with 25 seconds or so to go in the game.
Yeah.
That was right there where we'd want him to shoot the ball.
And it's the last couple of games he struggled. I'm wondering if he's getting tired. He'll never admit it.
No.
But
he plays so hard and works as hard as he can.
Last comment here from 5464. Leon Rice's coaching strategy: recruit a couple athletes, then work the refs during timeouts, work the refs during the game.
Odom was trying a couple times in the game. And again, he's the newer guy to the league, and some of these guys maybe don't know Ryan as well as they know Rice, Leon. They, of course, did a great job in the transfer portal to get these guys the key jabs and get to, ACOT and some of these guys to come from other schools.
And
to
you
come
look,
to Arizona and Shaver's, Portland State, I think it was at one time.
But you look at other schools are doing that. I mean, you look at, what Musselman, there's a great example. There's a guy that's built his success on the transfer portal.
He really has.
Aggies are going to have to take advantage of that.
Yeah, ACOT was Arizona. It was Shaver's Portland, not Portland State. Keyjab was the University of Oregon. So those are pretty good schools to get guys. And we've got 2 from UMBC that have played well for Ryan Odom. And here is the Coach Tonight postgame brought to you by Alpine Home Medical. Remember, compression stockings, CPAP supplies, lift chairs, oxygen supplies, a whole lot more. Alpine Home Medical, alpinehomemedical.com.
Hard-fought game. Obviously, it was kind of a knockdown, drag-out throughout. I was really proud of the guys and their effort. Coming off of a short turnaround like that, playing at Fresno, playing really well in the first half offensively, and then obviously falling short there, it was a difficult thing. Our guys we talked a lot about after this particular game, talked a lot about we're in a season right now, season within a season. And we're growing. We're getting a little bit better. Obviously, we have a lot of stuff going on. Brock's still out. Ryland's out. RJ's out. Now he's back. There's just a lot of stuff, happening, within our team. And credit to our guys for sticking together, giving ourselves a chance to win basically each of these games. Not the result, certainly, that we all hope for and work so hard for. But there are winning plays to be had out there. And that's got to be our focus, is how do we turn several of these plays in our favor? And, we choose to focus on the growth that's happening within our team. Look at Trevin Dorius. Last 3 games, his impact within the game, way different than how he was playing earlier in the season, right when he came off of injury. He had a couple of one-off games, Richmond, a couple where he really impacted it, but now he's able to hold his own in there. He feels more comfortable playing well. Ryland 2 games ago kind of comes out of his little, not slump, but scores 19, plays well. Stevens' defense was fabulous tonight against Shaver. He ends up making the winning basket, but he couldn't get one off before that, and the ones that he got off, weren't great looks because Stevens right there, the entire time. And so our team, we have to focus on making winning plays, staying together, and eventually it will turn, all right? Because our team is pretty good, and we've got to make sure that we stay the course, stay with it, and don't allow the results to impact what we're doing. And that means working harder, watching more film, continuing to pound on that door to try to break it down. And we're confident that it will. We can't wait for the officials to make a call for us. They're not worried about it. They're just trying to do their jobs, right? We certainly can't worry about the other team having a night off. They don't care about us, right? It's the guys in that locker room, the coaches within that locker room. We have to fend for ourselves, all right? And we have to make it happen. That's how it is.
Questions? Coach, some of these numbers from down low: 16 offensive rebounds, 4 points in the paint, 23 second chance points. Not usually something we've seen from this team. Just what are your kind of thoughts on that?
From our team or from their team?
Well, from your team, just getting kind of dominated down low a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's a beast. I mean, that guy is a beast. He had 10 in another game as well. I mean, he had 6 at half. And, he's a problem in there. He just waits right down in and by the rim. Ball comes off. He's got a great nose for it. He's physical. And, I think can we change 2 or 3 of those, right? That's what I'm talking about with winning plays. Can we change 2 or 3 of those? He's going to get offensive. He averages 3 a game, 4 in conference play. That number continues to go up. And you have to worry about Shaver shooting threes. You worry about, the other 2 guys making plays, going to the basket and shooting the ball as well. Like, they're a big team. And, he's right down in there waiting for it. And they're not like running offense through him, over and over again. And so he's free to kind of, roam in there. That's a tough guard. Certainly it's a tough guard for Brandon. And, Brandon, did an admirable job at times. Trevin came in and gave us a bigger body, and I think that's why we ended up getting the lead there. And we ended up playing a little bit bigger with Brandon at the 3 and Bean still in there as well with Trevin. And so we can put some lineups out there that are taller. But, yeah, I mean, he's a problem, on the offensive glass.
Coach, it didn't look like RJ was coming off a respiratory illness, like he was going at it today.
Yeah, I mean, RJ, that's what I'm used to seeing as his coach, from UMBC days. And he had the ball a lot at UMBC. He had it more tonight. Certainly in transition, he's getting the outlet, he's going, rebounding it and taking off. He was aggressive in transition, and that's kind of how he plays. We need him to do that. And so you get Rylan back, can we incorporate that, for us? When we were playing our best early in the season from an offensive perspective, obviously, those 4 guys are playing heavy minutes. You had RJ, you had Brock, you had Rylan, and you had Steven. Those were kind of the rotational guys at the guard positions, right? Z and Max would get in there a little bit, not much, right? Now all of a sudden Max is playing minutes. Z got in there tonight and did well. Sean obviously is playing big minutes. And so, again, the growth is there. Like, we're gaining strength. We can't let the results deter us right now. And RJ is a big part of that.
So what's Rylan? Is it?
He got a concussion.
Okay,
yeah, he had a concussion. So that first elbow to the face in Fresno, right at the beginning of the game, he was able to continue to play. It didn't seem like it was a concussion at that point. We flew back, we got here, and all of a sudden he was having symptoms.
That, again, was the coach after the game up there. We appreciate Jake Ellis getting that from us. Any thoughts about what the coach had to say there? I think he's saying played Horvath at 3 in that rotation.
Which should be we'd be fine with that. It really comes down to, is there somebody going to be able to – somebody or a couple of guys going to be able to get in there? I think you look at the players of the game tonight, Idle Rock certainly warrants that. Dorius played extremely well tonight in the minutes.
And Bean still got the double-double. He did. He had to struggle to get there. But I just looking at, in the last 2 minutes of the game, we missed 2 shots. Boise State missed none.
Yeah.
And
that's how you win ball games.
And so just the 2. Ashworth missed the 3 just under 2 minutes, and then Bean missed the 1 shot there at the end with 25 seconds
they got a week to figure it out.
Next Wednesday night for the Aggies at home against San Diego State. We mentioned the stats earlier in the game, And again, let me highlight it again for Cache Valley Bank. We always appreciate Cache Valley Bank. Their branches, Smithfield, North Logan in front of them all, downtown Logan, Hiram, now in Preston. 39% for the Aggies shooting the ball and 22 from three. It continues to be a problem. Did make 15 of 20 free throws. Just seemed like a couple of times when they missed. Looking back now, don't you wish they would have gone, and maybe it's all different. Again, those just the couple that you do miss. And on the other side, Boise goes 5 for 16, so the opponents don't kill us at the foul line. Now they have in other games, but they out-rebound the Aggies 43-38. They shot 40%, 25 from three-point range, so they didn't light it up there, but the 2 threes in the last minute won the game for Boise State. Acott 11, Kejab 15, and Armish had 22 with 19 boards. Bean had 14 with 12 boards, and Idle Rock had 14, 4 rebounds. We mentioned Ashworth with his 9 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and Bairstow had 8 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Those are the final stats. So, John, the Aggies in no man's land. They've never been 1-5 before in a modern conference, so they can go nowhere but up. But San Diego State and Nevada is still the next two. At least San Diego State at home next week. We'll see how that works, and they'll have a little time and should get Rylan Jones back out of the concussion protocol. If he played a little bit against Fresno, you think that'd be okay. So they can get a little more of the rotation, and maybe this will be enough rest for Brock Miller to get back. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. Anything else?
No, that's it. Okay. Tough loss, but there is hope.
Well, there's hope that they play another game, and again, they've been there so many times that, again, they have a chance to, again, then make the play the next time it comes up in the big winning situations. And that's what
it's
the
going
coach
to
is looking
fall.
for. Yep, and it's going to fall. Yep, our bounce has to go our way. Final score 62-59 for Boise State on that shot. Al Lewis for John Russell. Good night.